Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 18 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. I know it's been a while, so just to give you guys some quick updates, first of all, today is going to be the last day with the Trick Room Hail team. It's been a really fun run with this team, but I will be moving on to a brand new team in the next episode, so hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this team. I know I will be posting a team breakdown for it when I get a chance to, and of course I'll post a Showdown export and a QR code. Gonna aim to get that out probably Friday morning, but if not, then the beginning of next week. Excuse me. In addition, yeah, there have been a couple reasons why I didn't post for the last week or so. I wasn't like doing anything too major, but one, I was just really frustrated because playing on Battle Spot was just becoming too much of a hassle. And the main reason for that was because of my Wi-Fi. So you guys probably heard me talk about it in earlier videos where I was like, okay, like I keep getting disconnected and now finding games is really hard. So I figured there was some correlation there, which is why I reset my ranking. Because I think when you do that, it clears kind of the flag that your game might get if you disconnect too often. I also switched my Wi-Fi, so I'm not using my school's Wi-Fi anymore because it's just unplayable at this point. I'm actually using a hotspot for my iPhone. So hoping that keeps up. And I might just have to do this until I find a better solution, because as of right now, for some reason, my school's Wi-Fi is just awful. So, yeah. Our first opponent of the day is going to be Sandy VGC, running a team that's been really common recently. It's one of the more, like, standard meta teams. No pun intended, given that there is a Metagross. But this is going to be a tough matchup, I think. It does have Koko, Bulu, Porygon, Incineroar, Metagross, and the Araquanid. I think Araquanid's probably the Pokemon I fear the most here. So that would be interesting. I think Snorlax could be a decent solution against it, but I'm not going to have too much firepower otherwise against it. Typically my best solution against physical attackers is to just like burn it with Mimikyu, but I can't do that with Araquanid's ability, which is kind of tricky. I feel like you probably... Like, Incineroar is always the best lead against my team. The question is who you pair it next to. Because I could go Incineroar Staraptor. Staraptor actually puts on a fair amount of pressure in this set. But I could also just go Incineroar Mimikyu as well. I might just stick with my same four, Incineroar, Mimikyu, Abomasnow, and Snorlax. Yeah. If there weren't a Araquanid, I'd consider bringing Glaceon, but I think you probably bring Incineroar, Araquanid, and even Metagross in this match as well. And Glaceon is a pretty bad matchup against all of those. So, yeah, this doesn't look like a very good matchup, to be honest, but at least I'll try my best and play my way around it. So, yeah. Anyway, that pretty much explains why I wasn't around for the last couple of days. In addition to being busy with in-real-life stuff, it was like the last stretch of exams for me before finals. I don't think I've done a in-real-life update in a while, but basically I'm finishing up my first degree right now in economics at my current school, and the last couple of years, like, I've been busy because I've been in a program, and if I, met certain grades, I get into my second school for my second degree. So I finally got accepted into my second university, which I'm pretty stoked about. So I don't have to worry about that now. And it does make things a little bit easier. So these next couple of weeks, I'm just going to spend, obviously spending time with friends and whatnot. I think over the summer, I'll actually be able to produce more content than normal. So hopefully I can commit to that. It's going to be Incineroar Metagross coming out as a lead here, though, which honestly isn't the worst case, I would say. Because I can avoid getting knocked out on Mimikyu. I could maybe get a burn onto a Metagross. Setting up Trick Room might just be the better call, though. Like, switching out into Snorlax and setting up Trick Room. Yeah, I like that. Just because otherwise, Metagross will... Yeah, like, if you knock out my Disguise here, you can maybe one-shot me after the Disguise is broken. Metagross is actually going to switch out, though. Alright, interesting. And as always, if you guys enjoy Rick Rank, please share, support by leaving a like on the video. No, I'm not sure if I mentioned that in the beginning. Apologies if so for the long-winded introduction as always. So Araquanid's going to come in, but I actually don't mind that because Snorlax gets to come in against it as well, and I do put on some pressure against it. Knockoff is going to come right out, though. It's going to target down Mimikyu. Okay. So Disguise will be broken. Now, I can just launch a Double Edge right into Araquanid as I do get Trick Room up. The question is, would I, like, Incineroar here really could protect. Or sorry, Araquanid could protect. I don't know if you want to protect, though. Like, if you don't know my team, then you've got to be worried about a Belly Drum right now. But what I'm worried about is Araquanid just protecting an Incineroar going for a knockoff against Snorlax. That would be kind of annoying. I kind of want to just double edge Araquanid though and switch Mimikyu out into Incineroar. I think that's what I'm going to go for. By bringing a Incineroar, my opponent's Incineroar is going to be at -2. Incineroar is going to swap out. Okay, so this is pretty decent regardless, I'd say, because I have Incineroar now out against my opponent's Metagross. But yeah, it's still a really awkward matchup. I think my opponent has a far better matchup against me. So I still have to play really well. We'll see if Araquanid protects here or not. I will get an Intimidate off against it, but that could be a Liquidation going into the Mimikyu slot. Araquanid does protect here, okay. So that's fine. Now I've maneuvered myself into a decent position. The question is, what do you do now if you're my opponent? Do you swap Araquanid out? Do you swap Metagross back out into Araquanid? Definitely going to go for the Double Edge into Araquanid slot. It's just, what do I do with Incineroar here? Because I have a ton of options. I would probably swap Araquanid out. If you swap Metagross out, though, I mean, I could double up into a Araquanid slot with a Double Edge and a Flare Blitz. Or even a knockoff, but I don't know if that's enough to knock out, to be honest. I think I'm actually just going to go straight for the Flare Blitz on a Metagross, because I want to start getting damage off. Trick Room is expiring slowly but surely. Araquanid's going to be the one switching out. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So I'm going to do at least 50% to both of these Pokemon this turn, at least. Metagross is going to get an attack off, but then next turn I can threaten either with a knockout. Once again, though, Araquanid is going to be really tricky to deal with. I considered doubling up onto the Araquanid slot with a low kick and a Double Edge, but if it doesn't switch into Incineroar and I don't get any damage off against Metagross, then it's not looking too hot for me. So, finally going to get some damage off, but at what cost? That Double Edge still does a really good amount, though, and Flare Blitz will come out. So this is going to be a decent turn, but I'm going to take a lot in return. I might just eat a Stomping Tantrum, as Flare Blitz also does a lot to Metagross. So let's see. Yep, going to be a Stomping Tantrum coming out, and it's going to target down the Incineroar surely. Doesn't knock me out, but does a lot. So here, it's like, you'd imagine the obvious Fake-Out target is the Incineroar. I kind of want to just stay in with Incineroar, but losing Intimidate is a really big deal in this matchup. I might just do it though, honestly, yeah. I wonder if Knockoff knocks out Metagross in this range. Just to cover the option of it switching out, but I think I'm just going to Flare Blitz. Okay, Metagross actually did end up switching out into Araquanid. And I think Incineroar here fakes out my Snorlax. Looks like it. Yep. Okay, this has been an interesting game so far. I'll get some chip damage here, but with Araquanid's ability and the Intimidate, I don't really do that much. Honestly, that did more than I anticipated. And it is the last turn of Trick Room now. I want to Double Edge the Araquanid and Low Kick Incineroar. Part of me also wants to swap out my Incineroar. I could see the Incineroar my opponent's and switching out right now into Metagross as well, and Araquanid protecting. But I kind of want to just low kick the Incineroar. Yeah, I'm going for obvious plays right now, which could punish me. Oh, the Araquanid outspeeds me. I should have considered that. Okay, I think at least I'll knock out my opponent's Incineroar, but that's still pretty awkward. Not like I really had a great alternative there, though. Yeah, I should have remembered to Araquanid outspeed me, especially because I am not min-speed Snorlax. I have some... Like, I'm not min-speed specifically to make sure I outspeed Amungus's in that mirror match. And opposing Snorlax's actually as well. Oh, he's min-speed too? Oh, anyone's a speed tie. If I won the speed tie there, I actually think I would have been in a decent spot, but losing that's so bad. That sucks. Oh well. Yeah, because if I win the speed tie, I still have my Incineroar and I knock out my opponent, so I can swap my Incineroar out for pressure. That is so frustrating. Oh well. Yeah, that really sucks. Okay. My Disguise being broken also doesn't really help my case. I think I'm just going to Mega Evolve, Energy Ball the Araquanid, and play Rough Incineroar. I think I really needed to win that speed tie. I can't believe my opponent's min-speed too. It makes sense given that it's like a Porygon team, but typically Incineroars aren't min-speed. And yeah, this is the point that's frustrating. He gets to swap out now. And it was Porygon as the last one, so I could have had knockoff pressure as well. Yeah, losing that speed tie definitely, I think... I'm not going to give up, but I think the game's over at this point, because my opponent could just bring Incineroar back in and out. So, yeah, that's really frustrating, but oh well. Pretty good plays for my opponent, too. I think this matchup was really bad, so I'm decently content with how I played, honestly. I'll try to think about what I could do better afterwards. Yeah, it's just going to be a Liquidation into Mimikyu. It's obvious play. That does so much. And gets a defense drop. Not that that really matters. Yeah, I basically lost too much pressure at this point. I don't have enough to do to my opponent in return. But, I don't know. How could I have played better? Let's see. Leading Staraptor. Glaceon I can't bring into this matchup at all. I honestly, I mean, this matchup is just so ugly. I could have called some of my opponent's switches a little bit better. I could have called the Z move a little bit better and swapped Snorlax out into a Abomasnow to take it. That could have been like the one play I think that really could have changed things. If I win the speed tie, I feel like I'm also in a potentially decent spot, but combination of all that was just too much to deal with. And now my opponent surely will win with the Metagross and an Incineroar in the back. This matchup was just really ugly. I'll probably knock out a Rakwanid here, but unless Porygon targets a Abomasnow for some reason, there's not much I can do. Should just Ice Beam Mimikyu. Yep, correct play there. So, yeah, not the best game, but I don't know what I could have done too differently other than swapping Snorlax out into the Liquidation. I think that actually was the key mistake when I made this game. Other than that, is there anything else that I can really think of? Turn 1, what did I do? I swapped out into Snorlax. That was fine. Turn 1 played out the way I wanted it to. What else? Yeah, I guess just targeting my, like predicting my opponent's switches a little bit more aggressively would have been better too. Poor guy's just gonna recover here. But yeah, the speed tie is what really caught me off guard. I thought surely I'd outspeed my opponent's Incineroar. I wonder what the roll was onto my Snorlax as well, because I thought I maybe had a chance to survive in the Z move. If I survive that, it's a really big deal as well. But Flare Blitz will come out and end up winning the game for my opponent, so good game. I think I don't know. There were like some points. I think the Snorlax one, that was the big one, switching out from the Z move. That would have been big. I don't know why I thought I maybe could have survived a Z Liquidation at that point. So I'd say that's the one key thing that I could have done differently. Trying to think if there was anything else. I don't know. I played relatively safe with my targets, I guess, and I should have been double targeting more aggressively. Let's say I actually knock out my opponent's Incineroar there, and I win the speed tie. What does the game look like then? Then I'd be able to swap out my Incineroar out. I'd be able to bring in a Abomasnow or Mimikyu. And my opponent wouldn't be able to recycle Intimidate. I'm not sure if I could have won the game, but I feel like if I do win that speed tie there, I'm actually in a pretty good spot. But, oh well. I think, my opponent played that very cleanly as well, and that was a tough matchup to begin with, so if I'm not playing it perfectly, my odds of winning that matchup aren't too great anyway. Next team's going to be really interesting. Charizard Venusaur, but with Koko, Feeny, Talonflame, and the Ninetales. So, I really do want to bring Glaceon into this one, I'm going to be honest. I think I will. I'll give Glaceon a shot here. I'm going to go Mimikyu, and you know what? I want to give Staraptor a shot too. So I'm going to change things up. I don't think I've actually brought these four together in combination, and I'm saying, what the heck, why not? It's our last day with the team. Let's give some glory to it. The goal here is Staraptor can nuke things, and then, like, Glaceon and Abomasnow actually have pretty good coverage against my opponent's team. Now, obviously, like, I think Incineroar and Snorlax would have been really good picks as well, but I feel like this is one of the matchups where you could actually justify bringing Staraptor and Glaceon. I think the tricky thing about Glaceon is that there's almost always a better alternative. It's very tough to, like, for it to be the priority and the #1 option to bring out, which makes things a little bit frustrating. It's going to be Feeny and Ninetales, which I actually don't mind at all. I think I'm just going to try to Final Gambit Feeny and Trick Room. The only downside is if Feeny protects, Ninetales doesn't Blizzard, and it goes for an Aurora Reveal instead. That'll be kind of awkward. But if I can knock out Feeny, that'd really pave the way for Glaceon and I mean, Abomasnow can deal with Feeny, obviously, but definitely pave the way for Glaceon. Yeah, so I am going to just go for the Trick Room here. And the Final Gambit. And try to take Feeny out with me. I think if I get this, I'm honestly in a really good spot. And Feeny doesn't protect, which is incredible. Not sure whether that's because it's Specs or whether my opponent was just hoping I would, I don't know, maybe U-turn out or target down the Feeny slot, or sorry, the Ninetales slot, but that works out exactly how I wanted it to. And Ninetales just Blizzards, that's perfect. Nice. And because my opponent has a Ninetales, what I can actually do now is bring out Glaceon as opposed to the Abomasnow and win the Weather War through that. Because if my opponent brings out Charizard and I bring out Abomasnow, then I would Mega Evolve first, I would get the Hail up, and then my opponent would get Sun up. By bringing out Glaceon here, what I can actually do is just double up into the Charizard slot if my opponent brings out Charizard, which will just knock it out, and if anything else comes out, I can just spam Blizzard right now. So I'm in a really good spot. It's going to be Venusaur coming out, which is pretty amazing, I would say, to see. Yeah, I think I've got this locked up, but it's still early to say. That being said, a Ninetales Blizzard won't knock me out. I think I actually will commit to Z-moving here. Yeah. And I'm just going to press Blizzard here. I want a Z-move because that's could be Mega Venusaur. If it's not Mega Venusaur, then a Blizzard should just knock it out, and the Z-move will get redirected into Ninetales. Venusaur could protect right now, but Blizzard against Ninetales probably still does around 30 to 40%. Venusaur's actually going to swap out, so that's Charizard, which it is. Yeah, that's really not good news for my opponent right now. As Glaceon will finally get a huge Blizzard off here. It's going to do so much damage. Almost knocks out Charizard outright. Yeah, it does around 40 to Ninetales, and we get the freeze on Charizard, but it doesn't matter as I am going to finish it off here anyway with the Z-move. I always, like, my insides hurt a little bit when I waste the Z-move. Or not wasted, but when I see it and you're like, oh, you could have just gone for a regular attack. In this position, I think going for the Z-move was probably the better play anyway. But it always hurts Z-moving something with like 10% left, unless you're expecting it to protect. But, yeah. So, Glaceon plus Mimikyu here. Combination will take out the Charizard. Getting a knockout there. And Ninetales probably goes for another Blizzard, maybe an Aurora Veil, but Ninetales can't touch Glaceon. It actually does go for the Aurora Veil, which is probably the better call at this point. But that's not Mega Venusaur, then Blizzard's still going to do a ton to it. Now, Mega Venusaur is actually kind of a tricky Pokemon for my team to deal with, so it would be kind of annoying, but I think I'm at the point now because I still got multiple turns of Trick Room where I can just click Blizzard, and all the Ice-type attacks are just doing so much damage. So, I will go for the Shadow Claw here into Ninetales and a Blizzard. It might not knock out Ninetales after the Aurora Veil. I actually expected to survive, but it'll be enough where another Blizzard should finish it off. We'll see if it's Mega Venusaur or not. It doesn't look like it. And that makes sense, right? If you've got Venusaur and Charizard, you'd imagine that the Mega Evolution is going to be the Charizard. I actually crit the Ninetales. And Venusaur actually still almost gets knocked out. So Glaceon really did finally put in work in this game. And it was actually really instrumental. So ultimately, my opponent bringing Ninetales made my life a lot easier, because if you don't bring out Ninetales, then I'm forced to at least bring out a Bombastone instead of Glaceon immediately. That's the main difficulty in using Glaceon, as Venusaur actually knocks itself out through its Life Orb recoil. So very fast-paced second game, but I felt like my matchup was really good in this one. Yeah, today's games have felt really matchup-based. Like that first one, you know, my matchup not looking too great. This one was going to be a tough one for my opponent to play out of, but I think my opponent needed to utilize the Charizard a little bit better and save it and try to get it into a point where you could at least like deny me from Blizzard spam. But yeah, the Ninetales coming out immediately made my life a lot easier. The Feeny not protecting also made my life not easier, just because I didn't have to deal with it protecting while Ninetales went for something like an Aurora Veil or a Blizzard. Typically, if you play against Staraptor, you know, you kind of want to go for a protect on the Pokemon that you expect to be Final Gambited and try to attack with the other one. And Ninetales is also a Pokemon that often carries Sash, so if that did carry Sash, then, you know, you could easily take a Final Gambit into that slot. So a play like Aurora Veil Protect is probably my opponent's best play on that first turn. It covers for the option of me Trick Rooming, it covers for the option of me going into Final Gambiting into Feeny and whatnot. But, yeah. So, long first game, pretty short second game. We will play our third and final game with this team now. I do want to go back to that first game, though. I really want to think what I could have done better, because I felt like, you know, the first couple turns were going out alright, and then once I, you know, Trick Room expired, it was just all over, really, from there. But Araquanid is pretty ugly to deal with. Incineroar, obviously, is, as is Mega Metagross. Now, Mega Metagross is, like, decent if I could get the Z-move off or I could burn it, but my opponent didn't give me any chance to really touch it early on. Once I was locked in a Double Edge, that also didn't help my case very much. So, yeah. Staraptor is always a Pokemon you can argue to make an appearance, but it's just so tough leading Staraptor into an Incineroar because you'll be threatened by a Fake Out. But maybe if I led Incineroar Staraptor, I'm actually thinking that could have been a very viable lead. Because what that accomplishes is, like, it forces you... I'm just going to Fake Out Metagross turn 1 and Final Gambit your Incineroar turn 1. So if you Fake Out my Staraptor, I'll just Fake Out your Metagross and I can Final Gambit that slot the next turn. The difficulty lies in the ability the following turn. But I actually think that would have been a better play. We can't find someone, so we're just going to jump back on. But yeah, maybe I should have let Incineroar Staraptor that first game. The more I think about it, the more I like that option. Because the things that switch into, I could just knock off to put on a lot of pressure, especially the Porygon. So, yeah. It's kind of interesting to think about. Finding matches takes so long, especially when, like, my Wi-Fi was disconnecting all the time. It's kept up pretty decently so far. But I also don't know how much data it's actually using up, so I'm kind of worried about that. I shall check after this game is over, but we are just going to look for Game 3 for today's episode. Alright, we are going to find Sylvain for our third opponent of the day, and our very last opponent with this team. Another Charizard and another Venusaur, but a Pelipper, a Kingdra, a Landorus, and a Tapu Koko. So, I think Glaceon actually shall make an appearance in this one as well, which I'm very excited about. I think I'm going to go just Mimikyu. I kind of want to just go Mimikyu Snorlax here, explode, and go from there. Because nothing on my opponent's team resists normal or ice. So I think that's actually the approach I'm going to take in this game. Looks like my data, or my hotspot, is keeping up. I'm actually going to check how much data it has used up right now, because I've been recording for around 20 plus minutes or so. And I have a pretty decent data plan, but I use it with my family, and we always end up like reaching the maximum right before the deadline. So I don't want to take up too much data from our shared plan. Let's see. I am glad though that the Wi-Fi is keeping up. I can't tell you, like the last week and a half, or even a couple weeks, like even the last couple of episodes, it just took so long to record, because I was disconnecting constantly, and then like I said, I think my game pretty much got flagged for disconnecting so often. So I do apologize if we run into each other in Battle Spot, and I can't believe how little data a Battle Spot takes. Wow. That's actually incredible. It took up 1 megabyte in the last 20 minutes, like less than that. Okay. I guess this is my solution, because it pretty much takes up nothing. So, at least that means I shouldn't have to deal with Wi-Fi issues anymore. Sorry about complaining constantly. I really don't want to keep talking about it. Alright, let's see what comes out this game, though. Now, there is not a Ninetales, but interesting enough, there is a Pelipper. This game could also end very quickly. Could just self-destruct Trick Room and spam Blizzard. Pelipper Kingdra, that's a pretty good lead to go up against here, too. The question is, what is the question? What item the Kingdra has? Because I could switch into a Bulbasaur right now, but quite honestly, I really want to just utilize the self-destruct strategy. Because I haven't led Snorlax and Mimikyu in so long. So I think I honestly will just Trick Room, and bye-bye. I don't think my opponent should have a way to stop Trick Room. You could double up on Snorlax to knock it out, but then I would get Trick Room up successfully, bring in a Bulbasaur, and then a Bulbasaur literally just sweeps from there. And, yeah. I feel like I am in a pretty commanding position, but that's part of the reason why I was able to choose my leads and my backup Pokemon so aggressively. Because when you don't have any normal or ice resists, I can really take advantage of that. So, let's see how this plays out. I'm really hungry as well right now. Fun fact. Waterfall Kingdra. You know, that actually is like the one thing that could stop me right now, because it can flinch me. I'm totally gonna get flinched. Or confused. Oh, the double up on the Mimikyu too. Okay, I don't get confused, but do I get flinched? If I get flinched here, that actually could be really ugly. Pelipper has Sash, that's fine. Oh god. I really feel like I feel the flinch is coming right now. I called it! That's actually so bad if my opponent brings out Charizard right now. Are you serious? Oh, bring out anything but Charizard. I'm screwed. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my god. Yeah, I've got nothing. I think I just lose now, quite honestly. I'm really gonna lose to a Waterfall Kingdra. That's my fault for just clicking self-destruct, though. I mean, I should have accounted for Waterfall Kingdra being able to flinch me. There is no other way I would... That's literally the one thing that could have stopped me. I don't know, that's kind of silly. What was the more optimal play? I honestly think self-destructing was the best play possible with Snorlax. I just guess I should have accounted for Waterfall Kingdra. For all I know, maybe this Charizard somehow doesn't knock out Mimikyu and I get Trick Room up, because, I mean, my opponent's running physical Waterfall Kingdra, so it's obviously got surprises up his sleeve. I was totally ready for that to be a Charizard X as well. I'd be like, okay, it is going to be Charizard Y. Oh my god. Okay. I mean, you should just Heat Wave. Did you just knock out Mimikyu? Okay. If Charizard for some reason misses a Heat Wave or doesn't target Mimikyu, it does go for Heat Wave. No miss. No justice. Okay, I'm not out of it yet. I need to survive a Heat Wave with Glaceon, or it needs to miss. I get an Ice Beam off against Charizard, enough to put it in Ice Shard KO range, and then Abomasnow wins the game. Maybe. Oh my goodness, you've got to be kidding me. Yeah. Okay, let's see if Glaceon can survive here. Oh, my opponent actually just swaps out. You know, that actually makes this really interesting because Landorus goes down and I'm going to win the Weather War anyway, so we're pretty much in the same position. We'll see what the big bird does. It's going to Hurricane. Yeah, okay. Because both of my opponent's Pokemon are going to go down here. So Charizard's going to come back out. But I don't know if I can take a Heat Wave with Glaceon. I really don't think I can. But I don't know. This is going to be really close. Such a funny game. Because I'm just going to Mega Evolve Ice Shard Blizzard here. Single target Blizzard plus Ice Shard plus Hail knocks out Charizard. So if Glaceon survives the Heat Wave, I actually win this game. Because my opponent probably wasn't expecting the Mega. So I'm going to Mega, Ice Shard, and Blizzard. Can Glaceon do it? I feel like the answer is yes. I want to believe. What a nutty game. I can't even be mad, though. And I just wanted to feature Snorlax and Glaceon. I got punished by a Waterfall Kingdra flinching me. What can you do, man? It's a cruel world out there. No Protect. That's not too surprising, though. You see weaving. Glaceon avoids it. Well, I think single target Blizzard plus Hail plus me protecting should win this game. I feel like Glaceon honestly could have survived that as well, but I'm not sure. That was one weird game, I'll tell you guys that much, because I had such a good matchup, but I didn't count for Waterfall Kingdra coming out. Good game. I want to do the damage cuck there, because I don't... Like, Glaceon is not exactly the most specially defensive Pokemon. So I am quite curious on that. And I think, honestly, that gives us time to play a fourth game. I've missed out on a lot of uploads, and the last two games were very quick, and... Well, that last one was interesting. I don't think I played too well in the last two games, mainly because I was just autopilot mode with Glaceon. But like, I think if I don't get flinched that first turn, then I can just bring out Glaceon. You bring out Charizard. I Z-move into Charizard, protect Glaceon. You knock out my Mimikyu. I bring in Abomasnow. I don't Mega Evolve, and I just spam Blizzard. So I think that's what would have happened. But yes, that was very interesting. Fun one, though. I mean, games like those are always just entertaining. Like, they're not very competitive, but I think they're at least somewhat entertaining to watch. Either way, Glaceon putting in some work today, so just going to look for our fourth game today. And we're going to find a 16-21 Japanese opponent for our last game with this team. Running a really cool team. So, we've both got Mimilax, but Lele, Lurantis, Oranguru, and the Camerupt. Very interesting. This may be a Staraptor kind of game. How do I want to approach this? That's such an interesting team comp. Unfortunately, I think Glaceon will have to sit this one out. Sorry, buddy. Mimikyu is a tempting lead. I might go with something completely different and go Staraptor Mimikyu? Incineroar Snorlax. Now that seems so odd, but with my opponent having Mega Camera, they really don't want to deal with that. And Snorlax and Incineroar are good answers. Yeah, this is, I think, literally the first time I'm not going to bring Mega Abomasnow, so that feels weird. This is going to be a really interesting matchup, I think. Because both of us, like, kind of want to set up Trick Room, but both of us kind of don't. I've got Staraptor, which will outspeed the Lele and the Camerupt. Sorry, not obviously the Camerupt. The Lele and the Lurantis. I actually don't remember Oranguru's base stat, though. I don't know if I can knock it out with a Final Gambit. But, yeah, switching things up a little bit. This should be a fun one. Ranguru and Camerupt. Okay. Okay. I mean... Right, I want a Final Gambit here. It's just, who the heck do I target? I want to target Camera because I think it's so obvious right now to Ranguru Trick Rooms. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to just Final Gambit Camera up and play off the Ranguru. If my opponent protect Trick Rooms, then I'll just switch out into Incineroar. Camerupt's Mega Evolving. Let's see. I guess you'd want to Mega Evolve anyway. No reason not to. If I get this, I'll be so happy. I think his HP stat might be higher though, so it's not necessarily. Oh, it's not. Okay. Woo! Nice. We take those, boys. Watch your Ranguru not Trick Room here, either expecting me to Trick Room. Okay, it does. That's fine. I get to bring out Incineroar now. I mean, it's not like the Camerupt actually was that big of a threat against me to begin with, but it's just so satisfying actually getting a Final Gambit off. That also, that play rough did a lot of damage to Ranguru. It's actually going to be a Lurantis coming in for my opponent too. Nice. So, I can just burn that. Yeah. I mean, I actually don't remember Lurantis' base speed, which is also kind of concerning. But, I'm just going to fake out. I want to just Z-move. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go for that, actually. It could protect here. Actually, I should have considered... it doesn't protect. Never mind. Okay. This has been a weird day and a weird set of games. I'll tell you guys that much. I mean, this one I'm pretty happy about, getting the Final Gambit call correctly. Although neither Pokemon protected, which is interesting. The other thing about Final Gambit, you really should know your opponent's max HP stats, or at least have it available. I just like not being able to check Like, I never use online resources when I play VGC, because I think it's good to mirror, like, actual games, or actual tournament setting. Ooh, it's actually Berry Lurantis, and I failed to get the knockout. Oranguru does reverse Trick Room. Okay. That's fine. Because we saw that my Mimikyu's faster, so I can just Will-O-Wisp Lurantis now and knock off the Oranguru. Yeah. I can even double up onto Lurantis, actually. But I kind of want to knock out Oranguru. Just to prevent it from doing any more shenanigans. And in case Lurantis protects here for some reason. Like it does. Okay, nice. So obviously, I think this game would have been over if I just got the knockout with the Z move. But this turn still works out great. Makes me seem smarter. So Oranguru goes down. What item did it have? Mentor. Yep. Last Pokemon's going to come in for my opponent. If it's Snorlax, that's going to be amazing because I can just Will-O-Wisp the Lurantis and knock off the Snorlax. It's going to be Mimikyu, actually. It does make this slightly more interesting, but I don't think that actually matters too much. I think I'm just going to WoW Lurantis and Flare Blitz it. I don't think Lurantis knocks me out at +1 anyway. So even if I missed WoW, I should be able to knock out Lurantis. Oh, he actually goes for the double, but doesn't get it. Okay. And I think that Mimikyu is also min speed, because mine's min speed, so the fact that I went first. Unless it's Trick Rooming, which would be weird. Oh, it looks like it is Trick Rooming. I don't know if I agree with that, because I think my Incineroar probably just outspeeds you under Trick Room anyway. And I had Snorlax in the back waiting. But yeah, this was a pretty commanding game, I'd say. I don't think I've taken any damage so far yet, actually. Maybe we could just go for a Trick Room as well. So yeah. I did reset my rating, like I mentioned, because I was disconnecting constantly, and so I wanted to like have a blank slate. And because my game I felt like was flagged. That looks like it was the case, because it's a lot easier to find games now anyway. But yeah, this was a pretty one-sided game, I'd say. I'd say the matchup was definitely in my favor as well. Like, Lurantis is pretty bad against my team to begin with. Oranguru I have a pretty optimal matchup against. Mimikyu as well, honestly. So, yeah, today felt like a game of matchups where that first game, like, I felt like I didn't have many things I could have done, and like I did not make a key play when I needed to, and that really cost me the game. Despite losing the speed tie, I think that mattered more. In the last 3 games, I just felt like I had really good matchups against them. So yeah, I'm glad Staraptor and Glaceon were able to come out a lot more in their last day with this team. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys. I know it's been a while, but I had a lot of fun with this one, even though the games might have not been as serious. They were still a lot of fun. Got to see some cool stuff. Waterfall King, that I will not forget. But yeah, it's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you guys for watching. As always, if you did enjoy, please share support by leaving a like. I hope you guys enjoyed this team. I'll be posting the information of this team relatively soon, so keep your eyes out open for that. And we'll be back with a brand new episode in the next Road to Rank. Thanks for watching again, guys, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.